Hello, class! I am Professor Hatter. Welcome to lecture hall here in my office, I also consider, but welcome to the video here. Today is going to be an exciting day, and more than usual. I know I say it's an exciting video because we're always talking about hats. Hats are always exciting, don't you think? But today I'm resuming an old series that I had started, video series of my hat history lecture videos, where I go through each hat that I have in my collection, starting from number 1 all the way to whatever hat I'm at. It's an ever-growing collection, but I have enough hats to, keep going until I catch up to hat number 140-ish or whatever I'm at this point in my collection when I'm making the video. I had started to do the videos a long time ago and made a lot of videos of me doing these hat history lectures. A lot of technical problems of uploading and it being a copy, and then having all these folders and videos of random raw footage of what did I do in it? I'm like, screw it. Done with it. Start over. Great new mentality going into this, and it's going to be fun. So I'm going to try to keep myself to a minimum with these hats, because I talk a lot, if you haven't noticed. Shock. Gas. I know. Billy is in shock. He dropped his coffee. I know, Billy. Make sure you clean that up. Thanks, Billy. Yeah, everyone's shocked that I talk too much. That's a big secret of mine. So I'm going to go over a few hats here where we left off from. Where we left off was BL, before Lids. And in this video, I'm going to show you the first hat I got from Lids. And also a hat from Lids that I kind of consider my pinnacle hat, where I started to really become a hat collector. And I have had hats before that, but it's when I really dedicated myself to being a hat collector. And it's kind of from a random hat, you would think. It's a sports hat, kind of, but it's not related to baseball or any professional sport. So I'm going to try to keep this video to a minimum.
Are you sure about that?
Hope you can stick around, and it's going to be a fun day. So I don't think you really need coffee to get your adrenaline going, because this is going to be hat talking today. Story time with Professor, as some people would say. So, get out a notebook, pen, pencil, paper, laptop, whatever you need for note taking. It's going to be a hat lecture today, so you're going to need taking some good notes. Class is in session. Let's go.
Patent pending.
First hat in this video is hat number 22. This is my first Lids hat. I went into the locker room store from Lids at my local Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg. I went in there in August or it was September, and we had went in there. I went with my dad. I needed a new Cubs hat for our upcoming baseball game that my dad and I are going to. He's a big Brewers fan. I know why, but I still don't know entirely why he's a Brewer fan. Kind of sad. And he brainwashed my brother and sister to be Brewer fans too. That's even sadder. That's like child abuse, I think, especially in Chicago. So I was going through the Cubs hats because he has part season tickets where it's like a 5-pack, and every time the Brewers and the Cubs play, I get that game. So I needed a new Cubs hat, and I hadn't had a new Cubs hat in years, it felt like. So I picked up this Cubs hat. It's a brand 47, not a cleanup hat, but a MVP hat, where it's an adjustable hat. It's got a structured front with a buckram, and an adjustable Velcro back with the Chicago Cubs written on the back, if you can see that from the camera angle. And a gray underbrim, and some self-made sweat marks. Anyways, I got this hat because it seemed pretty simple, nice adjustable, also like $20, so pretty good pricing. Now, if I could go back and tell myself, hey, get a new era on the field hat. Doesn't matter the cost, just get it. I would have, but it's when I wasn't a professor. It's not when I had my PhD in hatology. So I got this hat. I like this hat a lot. I wore this hat during that Cubs Brewer game in Miller Park. I also wore this hat when the Cubs won the World Series, November 2nd, 2016.
White is deep in right. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it and throw to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
One of the greatest days ever. And I also wore this hat when I went to the parade for the champions. And I quick funny story. My history professor in the mornings had been giving me crap about the Cubs doing so well, Red Sox fan. And it was the day of Game 7 for the World Series. And I said, Professor, in front of the whole lecture hall, it's about 40 kids, a small college. Professor, I'm not going to be here on Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday class. Says, oh, well, why not? Well, you see, Cubs are going to win the World Series tonight. And the way the scheduling would go is a championship team would probably have their parade 2 days after they won the big game. So Friday will probably be the parade and ceremony for the Chicago Cubs. So I won't be here on Friday. And he's laughing, and the class is laughing. A few people are like, yeah, go Cubs. And Friday, I took the Skokie Swift, the yellow line to the red line, got off at Addison, and stuck myself in a CTA bus stop right out of Wrigley Field, about 2-3 blocks away, and watched the parade go by. That was a fun day. So this hat has been through a lot with Cubs history, and it's a pretty cool hat. Let's move on to hat number 23, baseball hat again. Hat number 23 is an adjustable hat. It's a snapback, but it's not a real snapback hat. It has snaps in the back, but it's not a true snapback. Like, it's a flat brim and a high crown. This is a baseball hat from my second favorite baseball team, the Atlanta Braves. It's a pretty simple hat. It's got a crushable front, so it's kind of like a dad hat, but it's got snaps in the back, which I can't really remember the last time I saw that kind of design. It's a red bill, red button on the top here. This is resemblant to their home hats. I got one up there in the corner, the on the field 5950 version, and it's a hat that came from my dad's hat collection. He lived in Atlanta 1989 and 1990, before him and my mom had married in 91. He lived in Atlanta for a few years for work for printing presses, and went to he went to some of the Braves games as much as he could. I'm trying to think to the stadium name. It wasn't Turner Field. That came in 97. It was a county stadium. Braves also won the World Series in 95. So those two things, that's why I'm a Braves fan. And you can, talk crap about me, being a Braves fan for those reasonings and being a bandwagon fan. But hey, it's my choice. So deal with it. Let's move on to another hat that is kind of cool. So let's move on to the next hat, another dad hat.
Guys, check out my new favorite channel. It is so good. Oh my god. Look at it.
This hat I got when I was a senior in high school, but I hadn't found it in my house for a while until I found it eventually and then added it to my collection officially. And it's part of my senior year, my big excursion to Boston, where my grandma Nelson is able to brag to her friends and the people she meets at the Jewel, the grocery store, that she can say, oh, my son went to a seminar at Harvard. Well, I went to Harvard, but it was for a Model Congress event where we picked a representative from the House or a senator, and we basically did play Congress. Hey, I was Larry Bushron from the 8th District of Indiana, and I was a part of the House Committee for Labor, Health, and Education. It was a really fun experience. So I had gotten this dad hat, and it doesn't really fit me anymore. It's really above the ear. So if you can see that, I'm going to try to freeze frame. It's way above the ear. The hat should like go down kind of like where the ear top meets the bottom of the cap. But it's okay. It's still like an adult hat, and it's just a small hat. Or I have a big head that's empty. Anyways, Harvard was founded in 1636, and it's a cool hat. It's a nice maroon hat. Burgundy, maybe. I had wanted to get a New Era 950 snapback of Harvard from Lids, but it went away. It went out of stock. It's like, who else would want a Harvard hat like this? I mean, I couldn't understand. So that's one of my top lost hats. So if you see a Harvard snapback out there, red cap, white brim, please direct me to that location of that hat. Really appreciate it. So let's move on to another college hat. So this hat, I would say, is the hat that started to get me into hat collecting, where I started to go into Lids more often and really realize how great Lids was back then. In the store especially, because, I mean, a little history here. March 20th, 2019, Lids and Fanatics merged together, and the online and in-store experience totally separated for Lids, where before online and in-store was very connected, but now it's separate and it's absolute garbage. So this hat is what got me into hat collecting, I think, and got me more into being a hat collector. It is a Northwestern Wildcat, Northwestern University Wildcat top of the world stretch fitted hat. It's a gray front and white mesh back. The eyelets and the button on top are purple. Pretty cool coloring effect. The bottom brim is purple as well. And on the back is an NU, Northwestern University, in purple. The front you have a Wildcat, and on the brim there is Wildcat kind of in like a eroded away font. My friend, coworker, Peter from Fresh Time, he really likes this hat a lot. I really got into hat collecting from this hat, mainly because when I bought it, it was on sale from $28 down to $10, and then my 20% off discount with my membership card, I only paid $8.50 for it. So, back then I'm like, man, I'm really stealing away. Man, I got such a good bargain on this hat. Man, I'm feeling good. I gotta get more hats now. Then to realize, like, well, it's kind of a common thing in some cases to, of course, get the 20% discount, but then to see some hats on clearance and then going down in price. I credit this hat being the start of my collection, really, and being the starting point. I also had wanted to go to Northwestern University, fun fact, but then I realized that it's for, like, really rich people, and you had to be, like, really smart. So I was 0 for 2 there. So, kind of a fun little fact there, I guess you could say. So let's move on to the last hat, another college-related hat. The last hat in this video is number 27, comes from my trombone brother, Mitchell. He went to Western Michigan University, and him and I were trombone brothers in high school. I knew his sister, she was in my graduating class, and he knew my sister because they were in the same graduating class. And he played in the marching band at Western Michigan. It was 2016, the season of, when the football team went 13-0. I think it was the second year that the college football playoff system had been in effect. Western Michigan Broncos went 13-0. Pretty impressive, especially for a mid-major conference, where the Mid-America Conference is not really known for being a football conference or basketball conference or being that good compared to, like, the Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, etc. So it's pretty cool when he came back from the big bowl game that they went to and brought me back a Cotton Bowl hat. This is a hat he said that every band member got and a few other people had gotten, and this is like a really cool hat. It's like a trucker hat, kind of a high crown point, like on the top, like a triangle. It's got the Cotton Bowl logo on the front there. The new iteration of the Cotton Bowl, when it became like a bigger deal in the football playoff system. Nice blue front, navy blue. On the back is a white mesh, blue snaps. And I think it's cool that on the back it shows January 2nd, 2017, when the game was played. On the inside, on the tape holding together the hat, if I can get a good angle here, I don't know how well you can see that, but it says like 81st Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. So it's a cool thing. It's a nice fit. I've worn it pretty well. There's some good sweat marks on the inside. And my little fun fact for this hat is the first year that they had the Cotton Bowl for the college football playoffs, it was Michigan State and Baylor. And Mitchell's older sister, Hannah, who I went to school with, was in the Michigan State marching band and played on the same field that Mitchell eventually did too. So pretty cool connection there. So that is going to end my hat video there for the hat lectures. I know it went on probably longer than I wanted to, but I tried to do the best I could. So maybe the next video I'll do like 3 hats, just to shorten it down. So leave a comment down below, any constructive criticisms if you have, because I'd rather hear constructive criticisms from you than from Billy, who just has nothing positive to say. Do you now? Thank you for watching. Comment down below if whichever hat you liked the most of my collection. What was your first Lids hat that you bought? I'd like to know that. That'd be a cool thing to share. As always, thank you for watching. Hats off to you. Have a good day, everyone. Class dismissed. Bye.